Good evening. Happy Thursday. My name is Zuri. Welcome to Talk Yarny to Me one more time. I thank you guys for joining me today, for watching my video. Welcome you all in. We're just going to talk. I'm going to show you some super cool stuff that I'm really excited about. And then I'm going to let you go. If this is your first time with me, thanks for watching. My name is Zuri. I'm a knitter and a crocheter. And sometimes I make long rambly videos about what I've been knitting and crocheting, and I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to like, to comment, to subscribe, and all that good stuff. I finished 2 things and I'm so excited about them. I showed you guys last week my, what is your name? Tidepool Tee, sorry. Tidepool Tee, which is a hobby pattern, and my SpiderDream Tee by Alina something. She'll be down in the description box, tagged. And this is like a week ago. So today's Thursday, the 24th. Yeah, 24th. And I think it was like maybe a week ago, like last Thursday or Friday, maybe even Wednesday, that I talked to you guys last. And it wasn't until like after I finished the video, probably the next day, that I started working again, that I realized how close I was to being finished with both of those. My Tidepool Tee, I had just finished, if you guys remember, I had just finished the last increase, and I was on like the last, I was getting ready to change colors for the last stripe. And when I got back and I looked at the pattern, I realized like that last stripe is like it's the end of the body. And then after that is just the hem, you know? And so I was really excited about that. I was like, oh, I can finish this really soon. I ended up actually doing like one more stripe, like another 8 rows, just to give it a little bit more length, because I felt it was just a tad bit short on me. But even with that, I was finished with that. I think I finished it like on Friday. And then I had a whole bunch of ends to weave in, which I put off for a couple days. I did get those ends weaved in maybe like Saturday or Sunday. And so then after that, I could focus on the SpiderDream tunic. And I'll show you both of these in a second. I'm just go give it a little backstory. And with that one, it has like 4 different parts, I guess. And I was on the 4th part, which I realized was pretty much, well, it was like you knit it kind of back and forth for a long time, and then you seam it, and then you knit in the round for like another part, which is about 5 rows. You knit it around for about 5 rows, and then you're pretty much done. And so I was like a couple rows away from where you seam it. And so yeah, that was just really, it was really exciting for me. So I worked, after I finished the Tidepool Tee, I like worked on the SpiderDream Tee. Both of them had like major setbacks that slowed it down for me. With the Tidepool Tee, I got all the way to the hem, and here, I'll just put it up. Okay, so this is, and I'll show it to you on me in a moment. So this is my Tidepool Tee. Let me hold you up nicely. I have not washed it yet or blocked it, but this is it. It is just a raglan tee, as you see, with a, twisted rib hemline, neckline, and a cable pattern down the side, okay? Which is hard, you can't really see it in this, you can't really see the cabling, but it's there. So that's it, that's what it is. So when I was last talking to you guys, I think I was like, can't remember if I was here or here, but either way, I was pretty much done. So the way that the pattern is written, after this last stripe, it should be the hem, but I gave it one last little bit of green striping here. So I was like, you do this for 2 inches, right? So I was probably like 3/4 of an inch into this hem. And then I realized that I forgot to, no, I wasn't that far, but I was like maybe 4 or 5 rows into this, probably 3 or 4 rows into this hem, when I realized that I had forgotten to go down to a lower needle size to do the hem. Because when you want to do ribbing, you generally want to go down a needle size so that it pulls in some. And especially with twisted ribbing, because twisted ribs don't scrunch up as much as like a regular rib. So you see how it's just a little more like defined, kind of like how crochet ribs are, where they're not super like scrunchy, whereas like this is like a regular rib. You see how it's like super stretchy. Okay, so you definitely want to always go down a needle size when you do ribbing. Same thing with collars generally, same thing with like this here, like any kind of hemline. So I realized I wasn't, so I had to rip it out 4 or 5 rows, I don't remember how many, and then redo it again with the smaller needle. So that set me back about you know, a day, but it got done, and then I did it all. And then so I'm gonna put it on for you. I'm gonna pause, and I'm back. So this is it on. I will stand up in a second. So here you go. It's regular, so raglan, I think with raglan you can do like some short row things in the back, and that makes the shaping so there's like a definite front and back, whereas this one is just regular raglan without any of that, and so front and back doesn't matter. But if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can identify which is the right side. I think what I'm actually showing you is probably the wrong, like the back side. It doesn't matter though, like this is the back. So you see it doesn't really matter. Okay, let me stand up. Sure. So this is it on. I'm glad I did that extra inch, because you see where it lands, like right at my hip here. Let me see if I can tilt you a little bit. I don't think that really helps. So if I hadn't done that extra inch, like this is my stomach, right? At least it comes like right under the gut. If I hadn't done that extra inch, it probably would have been like up here. My stomach would have been out a bit. So my stomach is in, and this is, you see it's a little bit of an A-line, so the increases worked. Right, I actually really like it. The sleeves are perfect. At first I thought one of them was like, felt a little tight. I don't know if one of my shoulders is maybe a little bigger than the other, because every time I make something, one of this shoulder always feels a little bit tight at first, but now it feels fine. So yeah, this is it. I'm really happy with it. Let me see if you can see the ribbing a little better with it on me. Yeah, you see the ribbing? You see like these lines that go in and out, they're not great. I'm really bad at cables. So this is, yeah, this would have been, so I probably, technically this is I'm wearing it backwards, I think. So you can kind of see it a little better here. So I'm definitely gonna have to do some more cable stuff just to get better at it, but it's also not that much fun for me, you know? But anyway, I really like it. It's so comfortable. Like I said, I have not washed it yet, but it's a great, I can already tell it's gonna be a really great summer tee. I have a lot of yarn left, a good amount at least. So I have all this much blue left, and then I just barely, pretty much for the ribbon here, and of course this ribbon, you didn't add any extra rows to the sleeves, you just did the hem. So pretty much just these, probably 16 rows or so, probably less, I don't remember. I think I was into this already when I added the new one. So let's just say 14 or so rows, plus like these, I think 6 rows on each side is all I needed for this. So it was, you know, I think I used like half of it. No, I can't remember. I measured beforehand before I did it, and it was like not much. I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't a whole lot. So if I'd have known beforehand that this shirt essentially took 1 ball of this, give or take some yards. If I'd have known that I could have done it, or most of it in 1 ball, I would have made this the main color, because I really love this blue, and I would have made these the stripes. And I wouldn't have been able to do the hems, but I would have just done the hems in green instead, and it just would have been a slightly different look, but it's okay. So now I have all this left and this little bit left. The other several balls of this green I already put away, and I'll talk to you about that in a bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do like a tank top, a knit tank top, with this as kind of the main color. And then whenever I run out, I'll just add this on, you know, I guess to the bottom of it, or maybe I'll stripe it maybe at the bottom a little. I'll do some kind of color blocking thing. And I'll make a tank top just to use this up. And then that won't use up all this. I'll have to find something else to use up the last of this, but that's okay. So I have that. I have this left over though. So I'm gonna, yeah, I was already looking, I think, for like a knit tank top pattern. I think I found one. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. And so that's pretty good. I'll get 2 shirts out of 3 skeins of yarn, which is really good. And then, is anything else I want to say about this before I move on? I don't think so. So I'm going to pause again and I'm going to show you my other little masterpiece. It's so beautiful. Okay. A little bit before I do that, I guess, here, just to remind you what we're doing. It was with this. Obviously not this cake, but this is Hobie Sultan Deluxe Cotton King Sultan Deluxe in the color number 14, which on the website is called, I want to say, curry or something. And it starts off, yes, very curry in the middle, goes out into like these kind of coppers or ambers, and it ends up in this gray. And I used the whole cake of it. Well, it's a Hirschner's. It was a Hirschner's mill end. So, you know, those are a little bit smaller. These are like close to 1,000 yards, right? Where are you at? They're 1,000 meters, 250 grams, right? And so the mill ends are usually, they're all different, but the packaging usually says like something like close to 900 meters instead. But I know some of these, like, people have measured them, and a lot of times they end up being the same or even more than what's stated on these, you know, right here. Sometimes it's like even more than that. I was wondering what this QR code for. I'll have to check that out. So yeah, okay. So I used the whole Hirschner's cake, and then I had to use a couple of yards of this cake in the outside color just to finish off the very end of the last round. Okay, so I'm gonna pause again. Okay, here it is. This is my SpiderDream Tunic. I really gotta back up for you guys to get the whole. You see that? So it's asymmetrical. So this is the seamed end right here. So you seam it here and then you keep going. But the way that you build it, like you have this side is much, goes down lower. So this is exactly kind of what I pictured when I saw this for the first time in my Hirschner's order. I actually bought this one as a backup in case whatever I made didn't have enough yarn for it. I was like, I don't want to run out. I want to make sure I have as much of this as I can. So now I'm gonna have to find another project for this one because I didn't end up really needing it. Okay. So, but this is kind of what I envisioned because I wanted it to look like something splashed across me, which is exactly what it looks like. You know, like, I don't even know if that makes sense. But I love it. So a couple things. So the only real thing that is 100% not 100% satisfying is that I feel like, one, the pattern, so she makes it in small. And so she gives you what she did. I think she makes it in small. She gives you what she did to make it small. And she's like, oh, you can add more stitches here or more rows here if you want to make a larger size. So one thing I wish I had done is scrolled all the way down, because she shows at the bottom after the pattern, she shows like a bunch of her testers, and then she shows like if they have like modifications they made, that they're part of that. And so like at least one person made what would be about like my size, and they put their modifications that they made. So I wish I had seen that, because you kind of have to do some guesswork just to kind of, you know, I think it'll be fine if I add this many. So at one point, when you go from, I think, the third part of the pattern to the fourth part, when you're getting ready to seam it up pretty much, she's like, if it's curling, then you need to reduce the number of stitches. But let's see, I think there's like 5 or 6 rows in that part right before you seam it. I think that's the fourth part. There's like 5 or 6 rows in that part, that section. But in order, but she's like, you can go, usually you can remove stitches in row 2. So you would have to like, I would have had to like frog out like 4 or 5 rows to go back to row 2. And I was just like, I'm not doing it. So it was like curling a little bit, which is fine down here because it just makes it drapey. But at the part where you seam it, you see it makes it a little bit cinched. But that I mean, it's fine because that looks like, it's kind of almost like ruching kind of. I don't know if that's the word, but it looks pretty like, oh, this is inside out. That's embarrassing. Hold on, pause. All right, I'm back. That was embarrassing. But it does like, where is it kind of like, so right here, because it's just like a little bit bunched up at the seam. I was hoping once I seamed it together, it would kind of smooth out, but it didn't really, but it also is not enough of a wave for me to care enough to frog that out and redo it. And so I think it looks fine. It looks like it's on purpose, you know, so it's fine. And then I think that was it. That's pretty much the only thing. It's just like, because she doesn't give a lot of details about how to do other sizes, you just really have to go with your gut on that. But it worked out. It's really beautiful, and it's because it's a tunic and not like a super fitted shirt. You could make it a little more fitted. Like, I would actually have liked it to be a little more fitted. I don't think it ever will be, but I would have liked at least like this side to be a little more fitted, which it could have been if I had done less increases or like increased it differently. But you don't get a clear pattern of like, you know, for extras, for large, do this or whatever. It's just like, oh, you can do, if you want to make it bigger, do 4 chains instead of 5, or I mean 5 chains instead of 4 or whatever. And so you just have to guess. But it's fine. I still love it. I think it's beautiful. This one I finished it today, as in finally did the last stitches, sewed on the ends. I would have finished this 2 days ago, but the cake, by the time I got to like the last row, had collapsed in on itself and just gotten really, really tangled. And I was too proud to just like cut it and untangle it and reattach it. So I was like really trying to like work out the tangles as I went. I would like be able to do like maybe 10 stitches, and then I would get too close to the knot again. I would start to work it out again. So finally I did cut it, and I got, I thought I got past the worst of it. And so I reattached it, and I was going for a while, and then I got to another knot that I couldn't get out. So I had to cut it again, and this time I was able to get it all the way untangled, reattach it. And then it was only like, so then I finished off that. That's when I finished off that last bit of the old cake, and then I added in this one. And there was only like a couple dozen stitches that I had to do on this new cake. But all of that was pretty much in the last row, like round and a half. But it's just so big at that point that last round is hundreds of stitches. Okay, so it took me pretty much a full like 36 hours to get this last row done, which is fine. It was worth it. It's so pretty. So let me come back here and spin around or something just let you guys see. What do you think of that? I love it. I cannot wait to wear both of these pieces out, and I'm like ecstatic to be done with 2 things at once. I was not expecting to be like so low on projects now. Like, yeah, I did start, so I'll talk about it now. Well, before I do that, let me talk about, you guys might have seen, let me talk about this. See all those boxes? Those are all yarn. Those are mystery boxes. I don't know if you saw the post I made. It was just like a regular post, not like a video. I have 4 different sizes of mystery boxes. I went through last Friday all of my yarn in my garage, a lot of my yarn in my cabinets here. I did not go through, some of my yarn in, you see this guy, this thing here. That was like where I had the yarn for that pink blanket, and also that sage green Grafgan was kept in there because I would just grab those out when I needed a new ball. But I took like the ones from there, the full balls that I didn't use, I think, at least the pink ones. And then I had some yarn in another cabinet, some yarn upstairs. Pretty much all, and did I say my car? The trunk of my car was crammed. Not even a trunk, because I have an SUV. The back of my car was crammed. I could barely even close it. So I went through every bit almost of yarn that I had. And I will say, I'm gonna guess that is about 150 pounds worth. I want to say 16 mystery boxes of different sizes. The smallest two, because I just grabbed every cardboard box I have laying around, and thankfully me and my husband are big Amazon shoppers. So there's a bunch of old Amazon boxes. Plus the large ones are like these. I can't count point. These ones here, which is like the large size. I had 9 of those. Those are from like the same as the boxes that I bought for the other mystery yarns that I've done, mystery box drops that I've done. So I had like 9 of those. I filled all those up. The smallest two are like 2 or 3 pounds each. I can't recall. Then there's a medium sized one that's like, I want to say like 6 pounds each, I think. And then the large ones are about 9 pounds, 8 or 9 pounds. And then there's a there's an extra large one that's like 13 pounds. So I have 4 different sizes. I have 2 of the small, 3 of the medium, 9 of the large, and 1 of the extra large. So a little something for everybody. They're not expensive. I saw Bag O'Day open some mystery boxes from Etsy the other day, and like she got charged like over $50 for like 2 pounds of yarn. Like she opened a few different ones. They were all that expensive. And I'm like, am I super undercharging? Because I think the smallest ones is like $10. I think the 2 small ones are like $10, and the mediums are 20. I think I did 10-pound intervals, so I mean $10 intervals. So it's like the smallest one's 20, the medium one is the smallest one's 10, the medium one's 20, the large one is 30, and the extra large is 40, I think. So anyway, go check it out if you guys want some mystery yarn. It's almost all big box store yarn, but it's a mix of fibers. So I think every box, so every box I want to say has some wool in it. Every box probably has some cotton in it, and obviously acrylic. But I did mix up I mixed sizes as best as I could. I mixed fibers as best as I could. And I also made sure for pretty much everything I got in there, there's a few like one-offs, but almost everything I put in there has like at least 2 skeins, 2 balls, 2 cakes, so that you have enough to do a bigger project. So there shouldn't be, even the few one-offs I have, like most of them, like I put in almost all of my mandala bonus bundles, except like I saved myself like 1 or 2 colors, just because I'm like, I have a lot of these. What am I really gonna do with them? And even a couple of my skinny cakes I let go of that I only had 1 color of. So stuff like that, but you can still do a lot with those. And for the most part, I don't think I have a whole lot of other one-offs. There might be a few, but there should be enough to do something with everything in those boxes. I do have, most of this was in my garage, so it wasn't around the pets, but I do have 2 dogs and a cat. And I did like kind of put these together here in the living room where the dogs don't come in here, but it's a mess. Don't look. The dogs don't come in here, but the cat does. His food is over there. So, his hair is all around. The dog's hair still gets all around. So I tried to limit, there shouldn't be a whole lot of like pet hair or anything, but if some got into boxes or got into the yarn, I apologize. But, just be aware there probably is some dander involved, just because we are a pet-friendly household. Yeah, so I'll put the link, and you guys, if you want it, I know my homegirl Linda has been asking me to make these forever, and then as soon as I put them up, she went on vacation. So I will try my best, Linda, to save you something. They're not really moving very fast, because I hadn't really said anything outside of that 1 post about them, and I don't have a lot of pictures on Etsy, so Etsy's not really promoting them, because each one has like one picture each. So maybe I don't know, I'll just take a picture of each individual box and add them, and maybe they'll promote it a little more. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, so they're not really moving. All the other ones, times I did it, like they went pretty quick, but this time not really. So you guys come and buy these. They're really good, actually. I think they're pretty good. And considering what other people are charging for them, apparently, like they're I guess pretty cheap. I'm just literally trying to get this stuff out of here. I'm not trying to make any money, or like profit or whatever. I'm not flipping it. I'm just like, I needed to get a lot of yarn out of there. I still have a lot of yarn left, which is crazy. But yeah, we're looking, we actually started looking at houses. We're looking to move, you know, probably with like by fall. And so it's time to start definitely like decluttering. We're most likely gonna downsize. We do want a place that has like some good storage options. You know, like right now we store a lot of stuff in the garage. My yarn, my husband's workout gear, tools, like all the pantry overflow. And so, you know, that's like a big on my list, is a place that has like those storage, the same like storage options too. One of the houses we looked at, it was like perfect house, had everything, but it didn't have a pantry at all, and it didn't have a garage. It didn't even have a carport, because the master bedroom was like the carport that had been closed in, and it was gorgeous. It was the best bathrooms I've ever seen in a house. Even the secondary bathrooms were like beautiful. And we might still get it, but it's just like, I was like, we're gonna run out of space so quickly, like just storage, because we shop at Sam's, so we like, you know, we stock up on things, you know, and we just, you know, I was like, we're gonna regret it. You think now that it's just like, oh, we just do it less, but it's like the way that, like, if you don't have good storage, then eventually it just doesn't work. And so we might still get it. We might still try for it, because it's such a gorgeous, perfect house. Everything else was so perfect. But anyway, we're looking at some more tomorrow. We're gonna look at some more Saturday. But anyway, so that's like, I had to get this stuff out of here, which is the reason why I did this. So I'm not trying to make a whole lot of money, but I do want to, you know, make it accessible. And it's just nothing like, you know, a lot of it's discontinued, but it's nothing that it's nothing super fancy. You know, it's acrylic, it's wool, it's cotton, you know, it's big box store stuff though. Like, you know, you can find it anywhere. I mean, maybe not that specific line, but you can find something like that anywhere. So it's not like nothing. I don't think I have anything small yarn shop, like hand dyed. Well, I have some hand dyed stuff, but it's like the Joann's hand dyed stuff, you know? So anyway, yeah. So yeah, go to check it out, please. Share it if you like, please share it. Help me out, because I gotta get this stuff out of my living room. All right, so because I worked on these 2 shirts for the last week, because I knew I was so close, I didn't work really on anything else. And except for I did cast on a new sock, and I showed you this just to show you the ribbing. I cast this on yesterday just to have something small in front of me, because I knew that this was going to take a little bit of surgery to get done. So this is what I worked on, like, just while I was sitting here. Oh, y'all barking. Hey, that's enough. Himmy. So I cast this on. This is, I think a universal yarn. No. Lanas de Nord watercolor sock. It's made in Italy. It is 75% lana muslin free tratta. Trattata color-free wool, muslin free. I don't know what muslin free means, with chlorine-free treatment. So I guess that's probably a color treatment. But 75% of that wool, and then 25% nylon. It is like this kind of denim color that you see, but you can also see that it's gonna like change to like this darker denim at some point really soon. And then it looks like it looks like it's gonna even go to some greens, which I didn't notice until right now. So this is gonna be an interesting sock. It is going to be a Christmas present for my cousin's husband, most likely, or her son. I still gotta reach out to her and I still have to reach out to her and find her family's whole shoe sizes. Guys, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna pause again in a second, because as I was going through my yarn, hold on, I'm gonna show you what I found. Okay, I'm back. All right, brace yourselves, okay? Going through all my yarn, let me show you what I found. This much sock yarn. All different kinds. Guys, why do I have these? I didn't even make socks. I had no interest in making socks. You see how many clearance stickers are on there? I had a problem. I have no idea what I was thinking. Sorry. not all even from like, oh, sorry. My throat just got really dry. I think I'm okay now. It's not all, ooh. It's not all even from one shopping trip. Like, these are found in like all different totes and stuff. Like, I collected these over some period of like different trips and like just finding them and buying them with no reason. Like, no, I don't know what I was thinking. I think a couple times I was like, oh, I'm gonna get these because whenever I am ready to try making socks, I'll have it already. I remember thinking that a couple times. I think other times I was like, oh, I'll make something else. Like, I'll make hats or something else out of them. I don't know. I can't even close this. You see that? That's how much I found stuffed in here. I will have, so if I have, and this is not counting this doesn't count the ones I bought on purpose, like the KNC Sock Star, the Joanne sock wool that I bought, and like the KNC sock wool that I bought, because one, I wasn't like, I bought a bunch of those, like a lot of those, but that's mainly the Sock Star I bought just to see. I got one of each color that they had available, and I was gonna make socks out of them, so I'm gonna make socks out of those. I bought those on purpose because I knew I was ready to start try socks, right? And then the other ones I bought more for sweater wearable purposes. Like, I want to try some color work with them. Like, I want to do wearables with them, so I have that for that. It doesn't even count those. Those are in another place. These are just ones I bought over the years. So many. I didn't even realize I had all these. I knew I had a little bit, and they were like in a smaller tote, and then I don't know why I have them. So I'm gonna have to keep socks on the hook on the needles for years. If you ever catch me buying sock yarn again, you guys berate me, please. Because why? Why would I do that? I do not need to buy anymore. But I'm gonna use all these up. A lot of it, most of it, here, we'll go through a little. I don't know why I did that because I'll never get this closed again. Most of it is like Peyton's Croy. So I have a bunch. These, like that. A few of them are, I remember when I bought these. So these are the Yarn Bee Cozies that I bought at the last, like, or sometime when I went to the Hobby Lobby sale, which I've only done like once, so this was a few years ago. So this is before I knew that you needed two of these, like 250-gram balls to make a pair of socks. So I can just do like shorties out of these most likely. This is like this is the ones like the kind, it's like acrylic, I want to say, and nylon, like it's the no wool one, so that's pretty cool. There's a few like super vintage like Peyton's Croy. I think I must have got this at their store. It also feels a little used. I'll have to measure it. It's a little squishy. And then another like kind of vintagey one, very 70s. And I think it's mainly like mixed stuff like that. Yeah, there's some cool ones though. Like this. There's some cool colors. I know I had some loops and thread ones too. And I don't even think loops and threads does sock yarn anymore. I got this Line brand one. I think I remember buying this one too. I have no idea why. Oh, maybe because it has a glove on there. Maybe I thought I would make a glove out of this one. Yeah, so there's some cool ones, some cool colors. But yeah, socks forever. And whatever else, maybe hats and stuff too. All right, let's hope I can get this back on. Just barely. So yeah, that was honestly ludicrous of me, but that's what I've done. So that's what I got there. And then my flax sweater has not been touched because once I realized how close I was to finishing these two tops, I put this aside. But I'm still wherever I was, and it's like to the point where I'm almost to the point where I gotta start the short rows. I gotta measure it again to see exactly how far away I am. But I know I'm really close to that point. I'm just gonna put a part keeper on here because I didn't have one yet. So the next time you guys can see how much I did, because now that I'm done with these, I'm gonna hit this one hard. So let's go ahead and put a progress creeper on there. So that's Flax. If you guys recall, this is made with this beautiful cake of Karen Skinny Cakes, which in the color Melon Smoothie. So that's gonna be fun. And so it's 2 knit projects. And I have this. I mentioned that I had this one lone Karen Blossom cake. The thing came off of it a long time ago that I want to do like a shawlette scarf situation with. I hadn't started this yet because I was finishing these tops, but I had plans, so I've already started this. Now I actually will in earnest. The colors on this, the color of this blossom cake, this is from the first release of them a few years ago. The color is passion fruit. It's very beautiful. Yellows and oranges and pinks. Not really yellows, but definitely orange and pink. It's really pretty. So it's gonna be like I have a pattern picked out, hopefully, or I had a pattern picked out a long time ago. I gotta find it again. It's a spider fiber spider pattern. And hopefully, yeah, if I remember it correctly, it is like gonna be good for this yarn. So there's that. So that's all I got. I have 2 projects right now, one plus one that I got to start. So man, now I have something some free space on my hooks and needles side. I'll figure out what else I want to do. I might just go ahead and start the tank top pattern, or I might find something else. I'm trying to think if there's anything I really like, a yarn that I bought that I haven't had a chance to work with yet that I would really like to work with right now, or what. I gotta put a little bit of thought into it and see. But I only got 3 projects. I got space to do some stuff. I don't know. Oh, you know what? My niece, I'll put a picture up. My niece texted me today and she asked me if I can make her, maybe it was yesterday. Either yesterday or today, and she asked me if I could make her one of those I don't know, those half shirt things. It's like just the sleeve and just like the top, very top of the shirt. Like I don't even think it comes below the bust. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if you guys know what it's called, let me know. But she was like, Auntie, can you make me this? And then she was like, I won't pay you. And I was like, yeah, I'll make it, of course. This is the same niece I made the blanket for. And she, I was like, well, what colors do you like? And I know she was like, yeah, neutral, something really neutral, or green. And so I was like, just send me some color palettes. And so she sent me these here somewhere, which I don't think I have anywhere. I actually was talking to her and I forgot to ask her, but like if she wants it kind of like something heavier, like as a sweater, or something lighter for the summer, or what. But I'll find out, and I guess I'll have to buy a little bit of yarn, but I'll make her that. I feel like there's probably tons of tutorials for that. I've seen it in like all of like similar things in all of my crochet groups. I'm not in a ton of crochet groups, but the ones I'm in, I've seen people making them. So I know that people are making this, like stuff like this all the time. So I'm pretty sure I can find either a tutorial or a pattern for it. Yeah, get to bed soon. So yeah, so that's something I guess I'll add to the Crow collection soon. To the work whip soon. And we'll see what else I can add. Anyway, yeah, that is it. I really just wanted to show you these 2 tops. I'm so excited about them. They came out great. I actually was not sure about this one when I first, so before I finished, like right when I finished this part here, before I put the sleeves on, or maybe it was like when I tried it on last week, I don't remember, but I wasn't 100% sure that the fit was gonna be okay, because like if you remember me saying, like the stitches get stretched out when it's like when they're on the needles or on the cords or whatever, and so I couldn't really tell how it would fit, and I was afraid it would be a little too short or something. But I feel like once I got it, this part bound off, I tried it on before I did the sleeves, and I feel like I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. But then, for some reason, by the time I got not the sleeves, but you know what I mean, I guess the armholes finished, the fit was perfect, and I loved it. So I'm really happy with this one. And obviously, I'm so happy that I finally did something with this beautiful yarn, because it has been sitting in my collection for a few years and just waiting for me to do something with it. Yeah, and I think the the wrap, the Bag O' Day wrap that I wanted to do. She had teased it on her other channel, but I think she finally released it. I got to double check, but I think she finally released it. So I think I'll make that, and I got to use like, not this one, but like a different color of these. I feel like I'm addicted to using these now. They're just so great. Anyway, that is it, you guys. Talk to you soon. If you know any tank top patterns, I think I might have one picked out, but if you know any knit tank top patterns, let me know, because I want to make this, I want to let it stretch as far as it can go. So I'm gonna use knit and not crochet for these. And then what else? Mystery boxes. Go check out the shop. Favorite them if nothing else. And then if you want, you know, please, if obviously support me if you'd like to, but you don't have to. I know, you know, times are tough for everybody. But share me out, like, you know, mention it if you want to, you know, if you have a channel and if you feel inclined to mention that I have mystery boxes, please do. You do not have to, but you can direct, you know, help me, please help me move without my husband killing me. Like, just help a sister out, help a girl out. And that's it. I'm gonna let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day, weekend. Probably by the time you guys see this, it'll be Friday or Saturday, but enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you next week. I will have probably at least 2 new projects to show you, and hopefully half a sweater, and hopefully half a sock to show you. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.